Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show and a special guest, someone you may have seen on the live show. We're going to continue the routine of Mike being involved in the recording shows, and we are going to bring Olivia in occasionally to start doing this because this is important. I want to get Leroy and Amy and all of us to kind of start doing the recorded shows so you guys can see the live show. Today, college. Is it racist? More importantly, school admission. Is it racist? There's a video that's going around, and trust me, it pulls at the heartstrings. And the first time I saw it, I initially got a little frustrated. Then I started diving into it with Olivia, and we uncovered some stuff we're going to show you in just 15 seconds. We'll be right back.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more f***ed up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Still Points is in the house. So is Olivia Spear. Olivia.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. I mean, you've been on the live show plenty of times, and now you get to be on the recorded show.
Yes, and I have my voice back, so that's always a plus.
It is. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's trying to.
Slowly.
Yelling at the kids kind of impacts that. We're talking about school admission, and is it based on color? Is it based on creed, sexual disposition, income? What is it? And I think the answer is, at one point or another throughout history, the answer is probably yes to all of the above. But we've got some data, we've got some numbers. We watched a video earlier today, and I guess we should go through that together and show everybody what we watched. Are you ready for that?
Yes.
Outstanding.
Okay. Here it is.
So the first thing we're seeing here is a kid in a Cornell sweater, and dad is looming in the background with his arms crossed, obviously nervous. Liv, you've seen a bunch of bubbles pop up. Walk us through it. What are they saying? What does it mean? All that other stuff.
It looks like it's going through his whole high school, I guess, resume.
Yeah.
So he's got a 4.6 GPA, a 1460 score on his SAT. He's done over 460 hours of community service. Holy cow.
Right.
that's a lot of hours.
Kid have a life.
Woo.
I mean, we know why he's going to college, so he can get laid. I mean, he obviously hasn't any time to learn the great things in life besides academia.
Yeah. So he spent his summers taking college courses. He's already built his investment portfolio.
Why is he going to college?
He has accomplished more
Right.
in 4 years in high school than I've accomplished in 43 years of life.
Yeah, $160,000 in scholarship. Well, I don't know. You're a mother. I'll put that against that. That's a bunch of jobs. But anyway, $160,000 in scholarship. That's easy for me to say. This is why I didn't go to college. Skipped a grade. Played clarinet for 10 years. I played clarinet in 6th and 7th grade, and trust me, horrible. I can't believe this guy stuck with it for 10 years.
I did piano.
Right. He was on the news as well.
I was on the news at one point when I was younger. But
See, you should have went to Cornell.
Exactly.
So obviously a qualified individual for probably 90% of the colleges out there in the major institutions. Anybody would be happy to have this kid, but this guy's going to Cornell. I mean, this is a prestigious school. It's probably top 15 in the country. This is pretty important, and obviously they're going to take the best of the best. Let's watch the rest and see what happens. I think we all know what's coming. Doesn't look good.
He looks pretty upset.
He does.
I got rejected.
Okay, we'll go to the next step.
I didn't notice this before, but over his right shoulder, his girlfriend's there, it looks like. And she's not in the picture. You see her hair.
Are you sure that's not mom?
It's not mom. Mom wouldn't be there. Mom would be standing with dad. It's girlfriend. Almost 100% sure. You know what? Let's break it down.
Well, I was looking at his wallpaper on his room. I'm trying to figure out what that is.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's what you see?
Yeah.
That's girlfriend. That's not mom.
Okay.
I think it's girlfriend. I don't have a huge picture. I see dad, and then that looks like girlfriend. Maybe sister. I don't know. Who knows? But either way, does not look happy. Upset. Disappointment, right? I mean, because we've all been there. We've all went through things like that. We've applied for something or tried something and failed. And as a young kid with that resume, it sounds like he hasn't failed much in life and he's had nothing but success. So it's a bittersweet thing, right? Olivia, your first, mine are this. It's like the Jocko Willink, the good thing, you know, you got kicked in the nuts. Good. Now you've learned how not to get kicked in the nuts and how to get back up and motivate yourself. What was your takeaway from it?
Well, mine was more along the lines of I'm a mom, and it's kind of heartbreaking to watch because you feel for the kid. He's spent a whole bunch of time because he's probably wanted to go to Cornell since he was little.
Right. Or his dad wanted him to.
Yeah, or for whatever reason.
Right.
And, thinking we're going to be doing this in about 4 or 5 years. When
Right,
Hayden
to the
starts-
Virginia State local Round Hill Community
Exactly,
College.
yeah.
We really got to get her in there.
So, I mean, if Hayden really has her heart set on going to his school and she tries her hardest and takes all these extra courses and then doesn't get in, it's going to be upsetting and heartbreaking for all of us. So
Right, but would your first reaction if she didn't get him in is like, oh, she didn't get him because she's white?
no, that wasn't my first reaction at all.
But on this, that's what they're selling. In fact, it's all over the internet, and a lot of conservative voices are saying the title is "Kid doesn't get into Cornell because he's white." So my first reaction was, okay, I want to see the evidence that demonstrates that racism was the reason he didn't get in, because if not, then aren't we just as bad as people who would say, oh, I didn't get in because I was black, or I didn't get in because I was gay, or I didn't get in because I was an intelligent leftist, which is an oxymoron. That's what frustrates me, is because there's no evidence, but we do have some numbers and facts, because those things are what we're supposed to care about. And the truth of the matter is the median SAT score for Cornell and the admission on average for all students is 1,510. Now, I don't know what that means. I took the ACT. I got a 32. I was told that was high. I never took the SAT. Olivia, did you take the SAT?
I took the PSATs, which is the practice SATs, I think a junior, but I never actually took the actual test.
How did you do?
I don't think I did very well. I maybe 11 or 1200. I don't know.
I don't know. That sounds
It's
good to
been-
me. I didn't even take them. So
It's been way too long.
Well, here's the thing, is that this kid's score was 1460. So that obviously translates into, I don't know, top 5%, top 10% in the U.S., I'm guessing. I mean, that's a huge score.
I don't even know what the top score is for SAT.
I'll tell you what, in Cornell, it's above 1,500, 1,510. So this guy's barely outside the bottom quartile of scores. It's far below the average. So when we at first glance and we look at this, we go, okay, it's racism. But when we look at the SAT score, when you're talking 10 points in the SAT, it makes a big difference when you're talking about the top 2 to 3% of the people in the entire country. Now, this isn't just the United States. These are people overseas who are applying. So it's not just SAT scores. It's also GPA. I noticed that in the video. This guy's got like a 4.36 or something GPA. I don't understand how that's possible unless he's a nuclear reactor. And, Captain Kirk talks to Scotty and says, give me more warp speed. And he says, I'm going to give you 130%, Captain. I don't understand. How does he get those inflated scores? Because to me, that looks pretty damn good. Is there a catch, or what is it?
He took some AP and IB courses during high school.
Yeah, that doesn't help me. What does that mean?
The IB courses are international business courses, and AP are college preparatory courses where you get college credit while you take them in high school.
Okay, so he takes them in high school, and then he gets that credit when he goes to college if he gets good grades. I wonder if they hit you negatively. I'm sure they would, or it wouldn't be weighted, right?
I guess. I think it would. I mean, Hayden has been talking about going to some academy thing where it's college prep classes, and she can actually go out and graduate high school with part of a college degree or something.
All right, so is there a score that what's his GPA without these courses? Can they give us that? Did you find that?
I did. His score without the inflation of those courses is 3.68.
Okay, so it's not that that's bad, but that's an A minus?
That is going to be
A minus?
Mostly A's, maybe a couple of B's.
Okay, so
Better than me.
So, I mean, well, I guess 1B could drag you down, but when you're talking about, like, what's the average for Cornell? Like, what's their acceptance overall for GPAs? What's their minimum?
Minimum is 3.9 to get in is what they look for.
Okay, so once again, just small minutia matters, and that's what separates the best of the best. I mean, this is like if you're going to go be on Team 6, DevGru is the real name, you're going to have to be the best of the best. So it's not just being the best of the 2%, it's being the 100% and being the top 2%. It's being the best of the 2%. So those grades obviously matter. So he's below average there.
Yes.
So here's some numbers when it comes to demographics. So when we talk about the enrolled student population, and then Olivia is going to give you out of those applicants what the overall percentage of acceptance is. I don't want to get confused, but if you look at Cornell University, it's 31.8% of the college is made up of white people. And the next number, which isn't surprising from what we've heard, but it's 17% Asian, which is kind of incredible. That's half of the white population. So I'm interested to find out what the applicant ratio is in acceptance. 11.2% is Hispanic or Latino, but when you look at demographics of the United States, the Hispanic and Latino population is actually blended into white, which is crazy because when you look at that, people say, oh, well, 69% of the U.S. is white. Yes, but a large portion of that is made up of Hispanic and Latino, so we should do it here too. That pushes the white population closer to 42%. But either way, I digress. If we look at the most interesting number, Black or African Americans are only 4.2% of the overall population. And then 2 or more races is 0.27%, followed up by American Indian, Alaskan, Native American, and BIPOC, et cetera. Or not BIPOC, but Pacific Islanders, which is under 1%. What did you find about the overall acceptance rate of those applicants, and where does that play into it?
Okay, so the average age for enrollment in 2021 was 18 to 24 years old.
That makes sense. You don't see a lot of 35-year-olds applying for
No,
college.
very rarely. Usually that's like community college.
Fair
when
enough.
people go back. So out of that, 60% were Asian. They got accepted.
That applied.
That applied, yes.
That's a big number.
That's a very big number, considering only, what you said, 17% of the population, student population at Cornell is Asian?
Yes, but that's a huge number. So it shows it's very aggressive for the applicants, and that's why there's obviously an overabundance of Asian applicants. Okay, so where is it for white, Black, everybody else?
So for white, it's 38%.
Of the applicants were accepted. Okay.
Black is 37% of the applicants.
Wow. So a very high acceptance rate, same as white, but there's a 4% population of Black people actually at Cornell, but the acceptance rate is just as high as white. That doesn't seem very racist to me, does it?
It does not.
Okay.
Not to me.
And then what about the rest?
So 2 or more races is 35%. Hispanic is
35%. But didn't we just see that only 2.7 of those applicants at the school get accepted? That's really interesting. Okay, so what about Hispanic?
Hispanic was 33%. And then American Indian, Alaskan Native is 28%.
So what I'm seeing here, if I'm not mistaken, is that the acceptance rate is extremely high in Asian because the numbers are incredible for Asian applicants. So obviously there would be more high quality candidates, I would assume, that would make out of that demographic. But overall, the rest of them seem to be disproportionately not based on race, but based upon academia and results, which is called meritocracy. See, less desirables, if you take a look at the workplace where equal opportunity employment, EEO, comes into effect, is that it doesn't matter what your race, color, creed, even some of your mental disabilities, as long as you qualify and are able to meet their job requirements, you have to be considered at the same level. That's one end of the extreme. And then you can look at the military, which is probably the only open form of discrimination left. They can hire you because of this, or this, or because you're Black, they can decide, no, I'm not going to, or you're Christian, or you're homosexual or straight. It doesn't matter because the military is a selective service and they don't follow the same laws as corporations. Colleges are right down the middle where they have to go ahead and accept applicants, but they can base it off of meritocracy, but they can't discriminate and they can't do it because you're Black or because you're white. So most colleges have moved away from that open discrimination or other forms that we're going to talk about from Olivia next and really focus on the academia and the results, which is the way it should be. What else did we find out? Any other reasons that maybe we should look back and say, well, hold on, this is what used to happen, or these are the changes? What did you find?
So the first thing I thought of when I watched the video was the whole college scandal thing with Aunt Becky from Full House.
I don't know,
Lori Loughlin.
Lori Loughlin or
And,
something. She's hot. Watch Secret Admirer.
And one of the Desperate Housewives, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
matter. But all of those.
The whole nepotism thing about how, they're paying off the colleges and their kids don't even have that good of grades and scores and they're getting in.
Right.
So was this considered as far as were the kids being alumni? The boosterism, how many of their parents donated money? Did one of them...
Did they get a new like cafeteria or a basketball court?
Or did they resurface the football field or buy new uniforms for a sports team?
And that's disproportionate, right? So predominantly nepotism and all of that has been a lot of white students. And that's been, over the last few decades. So the way you combat that obviously is... the
scores, your SATs, and focus on merit-based.
Yeah, meritocracy. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what we call for. Olivia, I want to thank you for being here today. Thanks you so much for being on the Dumb Show Recorded. How can people find us, follow us, and then obviously your YouTube plug?
Okay, so you can go to thedumbshow.com. You can find us on all social media platforms, including Spreely TV. Yes, please go to...
Buy some shirts.
Buy some shirts. Coffee.
Hats.
Oh, we've got a Christmas ornament too.
We do. Got a Christmas ornament. And if you're Jewish, well, I don't, just peel it off and stick it on a dreidel or something. Where can they go to YouTube? Why should they go to YouTube?
Go
real
to
quick?
YouTube. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. My dream of getting to 1,000 by the end of the year is probably not going to happen because last I checked, we were at 833. So,
but it can't happen without you. We appreciate the Dumb Nation. We will see you tonight at 8 o'clock. Good night.
Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.